everyone, before I start, I just want to say that this isn't my story. It's actually a story my friend shared with me a few months ago, and when I heard it, I couldn't stop thinking about it. The whole situation was so unbelievable that it felt like something out of a movie. So today, I'm sharing her story with you. My name is Sarah, and I'm 24 years old. If someone had asked me 3 years ago whether I trusted my husband, I would have laughed at the question. Of course, I trusted him. We had been married for almost 9 years. We owned a beautiful house together. We had a 6-year-old daughter, and from the outside, we looked like the perfect family. My husband, Michael, was the kind of man everyone liked. He was charming, hardworking, funny, and always knew exactly what to say. My friends loved him. My parents loved him. Even strangers seemed to like him. For years, I believed I had won the relationship lottery, but I had no idea that my entire marriage was built on lies. Everything started with a random Facebook message. One evening, I was sitting on the couch watching TV after putting my daughter to bed. Michael was supposedly on a business trip in Chicago. Around 9 p.m., my phone buzzed. I looked down and saw a message request from a woman I didn't know. Her name was Emily. The message was short. She wrote, "Hi, I think we need to talk about Michael." My stomach immediately dropped. At first, I assumed she was some scammer or crazy ex-girlfriend, but something about the message felt different. I replied, "What do you mean?" A few minutes later, she answered, "Can you call me?" I hesitated, but curiosity won. I called her. The second she answered, I could hear that she was nervous. There was silence for a few seconds. Then she asked, "How long have you been married to Michael?" I laughed nervously. "Almost 9 years. Another long silence. Then she said something that changed my life forever. "Been married to him for 8. I remember staring at the wall. I literally couldn't process what she had just said. My brain refused to understand. I thought maybe she had the wrong person. Maybe there was another Michael. Maybe this was some bizarre misunderstanding. Then she sent me a picture, and there he was, my husband, standing next to her, wearing a wedding ring, holding a little boy in his arms. I felt like all the air had left my body. My hands started shaking. I couldn't speak. I couldn't think. I just sat there staring at the picture. Emily started crying on the phone. She told me she had discovered my Facebook profile only a few hours earlier. She had noticed strange things about Michael for years. The frequent business trips, the excuses, the missing weekends, unexplained phone calls. But every time she questioned him, he had an answer, and she believed him, just like I did. Then she told me something even worse. They had 2 children together, too. At that moment, I felt physically sick. While I was building a family with this man, he was building another family, too. At the same time, for 8 years, the next few hours were a blur. Emily and I compared everything: photos, dates, vacations, anniversaries, stories. And the more we compared, the more horrifying the truth became. Michael had been living 2 completely separate lives. When he told me he was traveling for work, he was with her. When he told her he was working overtime, he was with me. He had memorized 2 sets of birthdays, 2 sets of family histories, 2 different lives, and somehow he managed to keep them separate for almost a decade. The next morning, Michael came home. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't throw things. Instead, I acted completely normal. I made breakfast. I smiled, and I watched him lie directly to my face. The entire time, I knew everything. A few days later, Emily and I came up with a plan. If Michael was capable of living 2 lives, we wanted to see how long he could keep lying when both worlds collided. So we organized something, a surprise. For him, we rented a private room at a restaurant. Emily arrived first with her children. I arrived a few minutes later with my daughter. Neither set of children understood what was happening. When Michael walked into the room, his face turned completely white. I've never seen fear like that before. It looked like he had seen a ghost. For a few seconds, nobody said anything. The room was silent. Then Emily stood up and simply said, "Tell them Michael looked like he might pass out." Couldn't even make eye contact. The lies were finally over. What happened next wasn't dramatic. There was no movie-style speech, no screaming, no fighting, just silence. Because sometimes betrayal is so massive that words aren't enough. Over the next few weeks, everything fell apart. Both marriages ended. Both families left him. Friends stopped talking to him. His own parents were shocked. Apparently, even they had no idea. Nobody knew the truth. Not a single person. The craziest part, Michael never gave us a real explanation. He never told us why every answer sounded empty. empty. Every excuse sounded ridiculous. The truth was simple. He thought he'd never get caught. And for 8 years, he didn't. Today, 3 years later, Emily and I are actually friends. It's strange. The man who lied to both of us accidentally brought us together. We've helped each other heal. Our children know each other now, and we're both rebuilding our lives. As for Michael, the last thing I heard was that he lives alone now. And honestly, that's not revenge. That's just the consequence of his choices. Because eventually, every lie catches up with you, even the ones you've been hiding for years. So that's my friend's story. What do you think? If you were in her situation, what would you have done? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed listening to this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Reddit-style stories. See you in the next one. Red.